freshest, sickest burns here at Hot News, everybody. How you doing? Hope you had a great Monday. And not just the normal, oh, it's Monday, but like a really good Monday, because, you know, it's one thing to go through life dreading what you're gonna do, and then it's another thing to take life by the freaking horns, smash it up against the wall, and say, "You're mine! I'm gonna rock your world today." Sorry, got a little carried away, but you know what I'm gonna get carried away with now? The sponsor spot. Today's episode of Hot News is actually brought to you by FreshBooks, my friend. If you run a small business, which, I mean, taking life by the horns, I mean, that's what I do every day with running a YouTube channel. Anyways, neither here nor there. If you're running a small business, you can use FreshBooks as the cloud-based accounting and invoicing software to simplify your life, whether you're billing clients, whether you're tracking expenses, whether you're doing just the basic paperwork of running a business. It's all done through FreshBooks in a super simple, easy to manage way. It's intuitive and it's just super organized for you. You can create and send professional looking invoices and get paid up to 2 times faster with automated online payments. And the best part is that it grows with your business as you grow. So join the 24 million people who use FreshBooks. You can try it 30 days, no strings attached, no credit card required at freshbooks.com/UFD Tech and enter UFD Tech in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Again, freshbooks.com/UFD Tech and enter UFD Tech in the How Did You Hear About Us section, and then just get started on grabbing your business by the horns and smashing those expense reports. The way you got to do it. But let's smash some rumors. So we had rumors that came out yesterday. I decided not to lead with it because there wasn't a whole lot of information out about it, but it looks like Navi Benchmarks finally have come out, and it's kind of exciting because based on what we see, it's faster in graphics throughput than current stuff, slightly behind in compute workloads, but it just looks really, really good. So it's supposed to be a Navi GPU that has 20 compute units, which would be about 1,280 stream processors. It looks pretty fantastic, especially when you compare it against an RX 580, which is what we're expecting Navi to replace, the mid-tier AMD stuff. Technically, Vega is the high-end lineup, whereas Polaris, which is the RX 500, 580, 590 series, is the mid-tier lineup that they have, and we're expecting Navi to give us Vega performance for RX 580 level pricing. That's the general idea that's coming, and if these benchmarks are any consideration, that looks like it just might be happening, except for, oh wait, what's that? It doesn't look like it's Navi. It's still a possibility that it is. However, after some deep dive into all of the information surrounding the GPU that's on the benchmark site, which is 66AF:F1, it looks like it could potentially be a Vega 20 GPU, which is the 7nm one, and it's possible that this could be a data center GPU like the Radeon Instinct ones, or it could be possible that it's just a GPU that we don't know about going into the WX Pro series lineup, or possibly it could be Radeon 7 with only 8 gigabytes of HBM2, because what we're seeing is that its memory performance is worse than Vega, but its compute performance is a little bit better. So that could mean that we're not getting the memory bandwidth of the 1 terabyte per second on Radeon 7 with 16 gigabytes of HBM2, but we're getting half of that with 8 gigabytes of HBM2, which means that it's Vega speed, but with less than Radeon 7 pricing. But unless they cut it down to like $400, this doesn't make any sense. That's a bad idea, Brett. It's no, I'm actually gonna doubt that it's Radeon 7 with only 8 gigabytes of HBM2. Overall, while it is still possible that this is Navi because it was just named as a Vega card in all of the metadata that is associated with the GPU, it's looking more like that this is another Vega GPU that we just don't know about yet. And while our hopes are high for Navi and we really, really want it, we still might have to wait a little ways for it. We're still anticipating that sometime in June or July we should get the first unveiling of Navi by AMD. We got mention of it at CES. Lisa Su has continued to express that there will be multiple launches of Navi coming this year, so it's still super appetizing for us to hope that we're gonna see some Navi benchmark pop up somewhere, because it's supposed to be right around the corner, and especially with the leak that we got not the leak, but what AMD put out themselves saying that Ryzen 3000 should be mid of 2019. I can only hope that Navi is going to be something similar. And gosh dang it, you don't need to take the performance crown from Nvidia. Intel's going to do it, but AMD, come on. Give us a $250 card that competes with the GTX 1080. It's going to wipe the floor with the 1660 Ti. Nobody's going to have a reason to buy an Nvidia card above $250, and you're going to set us free. The RTX 2060, obsolete. The RTX 2070, still super expensive, $600 against a $250 card. The only thing you're missing is ray tracing. Come on, AMD, just deliver on it, please. Please, sir, may I have some Navi? Speaking of things that people might want, or not really, the high-end desktop chips of Intel seem to be getting refreshed later this year with Cascade Lake and Cascade Lake X coming out in April and June respectively. We're anticipating that the April launch might be more of the consumer end, which is going to be on the LGA 2066 sockets, whereas the June launch will be more of the super high-end LGA 3647. So, or scratch that and reverse that. My bad. The 2666 socket, which is the consumer end, is going to be in June, and then in April we'll get the actual workstation versions. That's at least what's anticipated right now. But you know what else is anticipated? Intel not being able to keep up with enough chip production. It looks like their CPU shortage woes are going to continue through Q2 of 2019. So that's April, May, and June. It looks like people over at DigiChimes have been noting that Intel not keeping up, especially in the mobile processor department, because they're trying to prioritize other things such as workstations and consumer desktop, which means that there's going to continue to be a shortage of Intel CPUs, which means prices are going to go up, which makes AMD's value proposition look even that much better, especially since we haven't heard of any stock issues on AMD's side. But Intel, come on, cherries are ripe for picking. But it's not only bad news about Intel. They actually just released a new industry standard for interconnects, which would be similar to PCI Express, but better. It's called CXL 1.0. They actually developed it in collaboration with Dell, Facebook, Google, Microsoft. I believe Alibaba was involved in this, as well as Huawei and HP. Anyways, especially in the data center environment, PCI Express is too slow of an interface for good information to travel across quick. So CXL should hopefully compete with that. It's going to compete with apparently NVLink, CCIX, Gen Z, and PCI Express 5.0. But yeah, good job. I mean, with that many companies behind it, it actually seems like it could get massive adoption and then become the actual industry standard. So we'll see. You know what else we're gonna see? Whether or not the new From Software game, Sekiro, the big Sekiro, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is going to be any good, because we just got the official launch trailer. This is coming out this month, I believe, right? Yeah, the 22nd of March, so only 10 days left for you to wait for the next game that's going to hurt your soul, like Dark Souls, which is a garbage game. I'm just saying that to trigger everybody. You know what's not gonna trigger anybody? That Doom Annihilation looks like garbage. My friends, this is a direct to DVD release, or direct to home video, whatever you want to call it in this day and age. It's called Doom Annihilation. It's a movie based on the video game, which we already got with The Rock back in what, 2013?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Anyways, that movie didn't work. Why would a super cheap budget piece of crap work? What is going on here? When Doom was asked about it on Twitter, the response from the official Doom Twitter account was, "We're not involved with this movie." Yeah, don't go see it. Don't spend any money. Don't let video game companies license out the IP to then be produced crappily to give us garbage movies. It's the same reason we get garbage games, because everybody keeps paying for this kind of nonsense. If anybody goes to see this movie, it's only gonna make things worse. Don't do it, friends. But you know who did do something? Nvidia. So in yesterday's video, we talked about how Nvidia had put in a bid for the Israeli chip maker Mellanox. Well, it appears that that bid has been accepted and it has become official. Nvidia is acquiring them. They've already destroyed Intel. It's over. GG, no re. Intel's 2020 GPUs no longer going to need to exist, because Nvidia is spending all of the cash on the things that matter. That was sarcasm. And then let's talk about another thing we talked about yesterday, which is the GTX 1660. We now have more images from video card servicing of EVGA and Gigabyte models. I will say that in yesterday's hot news, my brain just derped in the weirdest way possible. I was somehow thinking that the GTX 1060 has 1,920 CUDA cores, which is obviously how much a GTX 1070 has. And yeah, with the 1660 having around 1,400 CUDA cores, and then me thinking that the 1060 had 1920, I was like, it has less, but it doesn't. 1660 has more, so it's actually going to be considerably faster than the GTX 1060, probably even considerably faster than the RX 590, somewhere between a 1060 and a 1070 in a substantial manner for only $220. Yeah, not bad. My brain derped. Anyways, new cards. And then we got new benchmarks from Cinema with their Maxon because they have the Cinebench R20, but you know what else they have? Lawsuits, or at least legal threats against sites that were hosting the download for Cinebench R20, since the only official way to get it right now is through the Apple App Store and the Microsoft Store, which is kind of bullcrap. And let me just read you what this Tech Power Up setup says right here. So with regards to both Guru 3D and Tech Power Up being hit with legal threats about lawsuits, their response was, "We believe this behavior by Maxon is unfair and will alienate a section of PC enthusiasts from Cinebench. No record-seeking PC enthusiast with an Allen 2 bench painstakingly set up has time to plug their machine to the internet, launch the UWP store, evade attempts to get them to log in with a Microsoft account, and fetch Cinebench R20 with versions they have no control over. They'd rather install and run their benchmarks and tools off of a flash drive with control over versions and the ability to keep their machines offline to stabilize their overclock. Many others simply hate DRM platforms for freeware. Tech Power Up has since taken down Cinebench R20 Portable from its download sections. You can find it on the Microsoft UWP store." This is kind of bullcrap. Yeah, like it's a free bit of software. Why can't it be distributed? Obviously, Maxon has the right to control it, so you know, I can't say that they're in the wrong, but I can say that I don't necessarily agree with the move. Bad Maxon. And then you want a Bugatti for $2,000 less than a Tesla Model 3? It's also electric Bugatti. I forgot to say that. An electric Bugatti that's going for $2,000 less than the $35,000 Model 3. Well, you can have one, as long as you like toys for ants. This is an electric vehicle made for children, and it looks like a car from the early 1900s. It's called the Bugatti Baby 2. It has electric powertrain, driving modes for kids and adults, and it was a creation between Bugatti and Junior Classics. It's gonna be at the Geneva International Motor Show. $33,000 for a kid's car. Help! You know who else needs help? Apple, somehow. Bad segue. Anyways, they're launching their streaming service on March 25th. That is up and coming. So they're gonna have all of the shows that everybody else can get at other places. And why? I mean, Netflix, Hulu, those are fine. HBO, whatever, you have that. Disney's now having their own streaming service, taking stuff away from Netflix, and now we're gonna get all of these other companies doing it. And I don't wanna pay for a whole bunch of things because then that's called cable. I'm just paying for a whole bunch of stuff I'm not using. And then Apex Legends has banned cheaters. 355,000 of them, to be specific. There are over 50 million playing this game, and they have banned a whole heckin' lot. Don't cheat. Don't be that guy. And then in my favorite weird headline of the day, let me just go ahead and read this to you. Chugging a mood enhancer for cats is the new dumbest way to get high. Apparently, there is a mood enhancer for cat called Catnip Cocktail, and people are ingesting it to get high. So fantastic. Back in my day, kids were just tough and paint. Now they're drinking catnip. What is this lifestyle that our adult parents have led us to? What is wrong with the youth of today? Drinking catnip. I don't even know how to end this. Anyways, that's the end of hot news. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget that this video is brought to you by FreshBooks, the online accounting and invoicing software. Go to freshbooks.com/UFDTech and enter UFDTech in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Please get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related and catnip-related content, because we'll be having more of that coming forward, I'm sure, somehow. I'll make sure to squeeze it in there. Yeah, I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video.